This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com. Our main event is filled with reps. On one side, it's John Cena, and he's going to be challenged by Sheamus here. Sheamus is the WWE champion, and Sheamus is going to retain the title, beating John Cena in a cage match. NXT interference, of course, is on the way, or Nexus interference, rather. 23 minutes. Meltzer says it started slow, which it probably needed to, giving their following such a hot match. The people were into this because it was Cena, but it was so weird because there were so many folks cheering Sheamus. But it never got that hot, probably because everyone in the building knew the finish couldn't come until Nexus showed up. But it was a cage match where you can't really use the cage for fear of accidental blood. Cena did a superplex off the top for a near fall. He did an attitude adjustment, but Sheamus blocks it and turns it into a DDT. Sheamus uses a sleeper and some body scissors to keep him there. They're trying some big stuff here, with even Cena doing a fist drop off the top, and he's going to go fist first, jamming the mat. And in story, that's going to keep him from being able to climb out. There's dueling chants here. The girls are screaming for Cena. The guys are screaming for Sheamus. It's one of the first times I remember there being a real crowd divide about John Cena. Cena's going to start to recover, and they're pulling out all the stops until all of a sudden Michael Tarver from Nexus shows up, and he's got bolt cutters, and one referee would take the bolt cutters from Tarver. They all surround referee Jack Doan, who had the key to the cage. Then he throws the key into the crowd, which was pretty clever. Eventually, though, Cena throws Sheamus accidentally into referee Charles Robinson, who goes down. He straps on the STF. There's no ref, and Cena starts to climb out, but Justin Gabriel and Tarver try to stop him. Cena and Gabriel are fighting on top of the cage. Cena throws Gabriel into the ring, and Cena tries to climb down, but Tarver and Young are in his way. Sheamus gets up, tries to climb over, but Heath Slater tries to stop him. Sheamus dodges Slater and drops down for the win. And after the match, Cena throws the ring steps on Tarver, clotheslines Young, and he ends up leaving Gabriel, Tarver, and Young all laying. Meltzer would say this wasn't bad, but something about it didn't click. It couldn't really follow the ladder matches. 3 stars. This does maybe feel like maybe it's just bad placement on the card, or maybe you didn't need a cage match if you had 2 ladder matches. What say you?
Well, I agree with that. And go back to your comment. I want you to say this one more time. You couldn't use the cage as a weapon because you might get accidental blood. Would you say that again?
Directly from the Observer. He's talking about it was a cage match where you can't really use the cage for fear of accidental blood. I guess in this era, Vince had put out the mandate, hey, no blood. And maybe the guys, Meltzer sort of weirdly insinuating that guys won't bump into the cage because they might get accidental hard way blood.
You just summed up in a nutshell what was wrong with having a cage match that night. Okay, you're at a cage. It's payday. Sheamus is going to get his, but oh my God, don't run him into the cage because he might bleed. How ludicrous is that? What a oxymoron that whole sentence is, because it's absolutely accurate. If you can't use the cage as a weapon and you can't bleed, what the hell are you doing in a cage? Correct?
I agree totally.
The answer would have been, don't have a cage match, because to be honest with you, and again, I'm going back old school. Cage matches are meant for guys like heel champions that have screwed the babyface time after time, and now he's locked in a cage, and the announcers are reinforcing, okay, nobody can get in, nobody can get out. It's the bad guy's going to get his ass kicked. Well, if you're not going to give them that, and that's the hype, you're in the wrong match. And I watched this match, and the reason the crowd died is you didn't have use of the cage. Guys weren't getting run into it. Guys should have been bleeding. Certainly Sheamus should have been bleeding. If you want a cage match to mean something and you want it to draw, give them the true meaning of what a cage match is. And there wasn't even scenarios, and I don't know when this was created, but it was certainly in the last 20 years or so, I guess, where the climbing out was a way for a victory. To me, having John Cena shoot up the cage and crawl out and win a match that way, when he's the guy that you believe in to do all the right things, and he's the guy that you can believe is going to win the big match at the proper time, him shooting out of the cage, it never grabbed me the right way. God, that just feels hokey. And there was but over time, the audience figured out, okay, that's a way to win. So when guys would shoot up and try to get out, it was exciting. They went too long in this match without any of that going on. And I don't know that it really did go on at all. There was a couple of times where Sheamus tried to crawl out, but Cena was tied in the ropes one time, and other than Sheamus just go over and walk out the door.
Right.
He tried to climb out right above Cena. It just was too set up. It was too convenient. And I think it took away from the overall reaction from the audience, in my opinion.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.